Welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create the flyer displayed on your screen. So this is a Gilgal convention flyer. So we want to create such kind of a flyer for your church. So follow through up to the end so that you can go to get the knowledge and skills of how to go about it. So the first thing you need to do, you need to go to your Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, then you go to File, and then you go to New. Then you should be able now to change the information here so that you can be able to have the 4 inches on the height and 4 inches on the width, and make sure that the orientation of your flyer is portrait, and make sure the resolution is 300. Now we are going to use RGB color because we are going to use it on the social media, and therefore we can retain it the way it is, and then you just click create. Okay, so it has loaded on the screen, and therefore we are going to do some kind of adjustment. The first adjustment I want to do is to change the canvas size to 45%, so that it can be able to fit entirely on screen the way it has been displayed there. Now the first thing I want to do is to create my background to be better, or my background to be able to stand out. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to click on File, and then I click on Place Embed. So all these resources I'm using in this tutorial I'll be sharing in my description section, so that you can be able to use the same in your project. So you go to, in this case I want to bring in the first background, so I'll click on this background photo, and then I click Place Embed. Then I want to position it at the top here. So what I really want in this case is that I want this part, mostly I want this part at the top here. So after placing it there, I just want to go to File again. So I've not been able to position it, to place it there, so I've been able to do that. So I'll click File, and then I go to Place Embed again, and in this time round I'm going to add a photo of these people in praise and worship. So I'll just click on that, and then I want to position these people down here. So I want to stretch it a little bit at this particular point. So what I'm interested in this particular photo here, it is entirely this part of lifting of hands. So I want to get rid of this part here. So what I'm going to do, I just need to add the layering mask. So I'll add a layering mask here, and then I'll be clicking on the gradient tool. I'll be clicking on the gradient tool, and then what I want to brush off this part that I don't want. So what I'm going to do, I'll just be brushing off this part. So like that, just to make sure that I just remain with the part that I want, and that is exactly what I want in this case. So I think I can work with that. So I think everything is in line now. Then after doing that, I can also be able to apply the same on my photo here. So what I'm going to do, I also want to brush off this part that is so bright. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I get rid of that, so that I can be able to have as if it is one image in this case. So I've been able to brush it off that, and therefore what I'm going to do, I want to make sure that everything is intact with each other. So I'll be able to stretch this a little bit so that it can be able to stand out, so like that. Or I can even stretch it a little bit, yes, because that is the part that I want. So I want to make sure that it fits at that particular position, like that. So I think that is okay for me. Then after doing that, the next thing I want to do, I want to bring in the third photo. So I'm going to bring in the third photo, and this is this photo at the top here. So I click on that one. So what I'm going to do in this case, I'm interested with this part of the lifting of hands, and also I want that that part to stand out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stretch it so that it can go to fit on my screen like that. So the next thing I want to do for this particular photo, I'm just going to reduce the opacity so that it doesn't appear to be more shouting than the rest of my background. So I want to use 4 pixels. So I want that particular those ladies to appear yes on my poster, but I don't want them to be more than what I want this I want this particular flyer to have. Basically what I want really to stand out is this color, and also to make sure that the lifting of hands on this particular side also can be able to stand out in this particular case. Now after doing that, I just go to, I've already worked on my background. So basically what I'm supposed to do, maybe just to make sure that everything is intact, I just need to add some kind of a curve so that it doesn't appear to be so shouty. So I'm going to add some curve there, and then I can also be able to reduce the brightness of that background like that. So I think up to that point everything is okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to group all this. So shift, and then I just select everything like that, and then I use Control G, and then I say background like that. Now the next thing I want to do, I want to bring in the image of the man of God. So I'll just go to File, and then I go to Place Embed, and then this is the image that I'm going to use in this particular case. So I want to position him here at the top. So I want to flip over. I want to flip horizontal so that this part looks as if is having this kind of appearance whereby it's looking at us at that particular angle. Then after doing that, the next thing to do is that I don't want him to be having this sharp edge down here. So what I'm going to do, I need to brush off that part. So I'll be able to add a layer mask, and then I pick my gradient tool, and therefore I just want to make sure that it can go to fit with our background. Yeah, so somebody cannot be able to tell if there are 2 different photos. So I just want him to be in the crowd. Yeah, I think that is the effect I want so much. I want him to be felt as if he's part of the crowd, and that is exactly how it has come out in this particular case. Now the next thing I want to do is to add I want to add some kind of text. I just want to add some text now. So I think everything is now in a line, and therefore I just need to add some text in this particular case. So the first thing I want to bring here, we have some kind of a logo that I designed for this particular conference. So it's called Gilgal Convention. So I want to position this logo here. So I think that logo should be at that particular position there. Then after doing that, the next thing I want to do, I want to bring the first text. So the first text I want to bring here is ministering to. So we need to write some text here for ministering. So we're just going to say ministering. So ministering. So this is the text I want to be there. So that is the place where I want to place that text. So this text is supposed to be white. So we need to use the white color. And since it's white, I need to make it pop out a little bit. So I'm going to use pop in, and then I'm also going to change it to medium. So medium can work for me. So medium is okay for me there. Then the next thing I want to do, or maybe I can put it a little bit here. if medium cannot work, you can also be able to extend it a little bit, but for me I feel a medium is okay for me. Then the next thing I want to do is just to bring in the second text, and that is now we are going to draw here some kind of I'm going to draw this image that is a rectangle. I'm going to draw some rectangle here, and then this rectangle I'm going to use a red color. So I'm going to pick a red color from my logo here. So I'm going to pick some red color at this particular point, or inside this particular case, like that. So then after that you just pick maybe you just pick a direct tool, and then you just want to change this into a path. So I'm going to click on this corner, and then I want to change this into a path. Yeah, so I'm changing that to a path so that I can have that effect of one side being a rectangle, a triangle. So I can also reduce this here, and then make sure that this one becomes a little bit longer, so that the text I want to use can be able to fit in there. So what I'm going to do, Control J, just to duplicate that layer, and then that layer I just want to apostle. So I'm going to write the apostle, and then I want to position it inside this particular area here. So it is appearing at the bottom, I need to put it at the top. So that is exactly what is supposed to happen in this case, like that. Then after doing that, the next thing to do is just to Control J, because I'm using the same font. So Control J, so I need to Control J, so I click here, and then I say Control J, and then I can also duplicate that, and then I need to write there look. So I change this and then just write there look. So what I need to do, I need to make it a little bit longer, like that. Maybe I stretch it a little bit, because this is the main subject, so I want it to stand out. So I can also be able to make sure that everything stands out there. So I can use semi-bold. I can use semi-bold for this case. I'm just using pop-in, but now this time round I'm going to use semi-bold. And then I'm going to apply some kind of a gradient on this particular one. So I'm going to click on look, and then I just go to FX, and then I just gradient overlay. I'm going to use a gradient overlay, so I'm going to change the color. So the color I'm going to change to, so I'm going to pick the color from the crowd. So this is the color, the first color. Maybe I can pick a little bit stronger color, a little bit. Yeah, I think that is okay. So if you intend to use the same color, the color code is already displayed there. So I click OK, and then I go to the second color, and then I also need to use something from my crowd, so the color code is also there. Yeah, some kind of consistency in my design, that's why I'm working on that. Then I click OK. So that is exactly the effect that I want. And then the next thing, I'm just going to say Control J, and then I'm going to duplicate that layer down here, and then I'm going to say Rema. Then I need to highlight that, and I need also to change. I don't want to have the gradient on this, but I want this Rema to be extra bold. I can use extra bold like that. And being the surname, I just want to make sure that it is well seen in this particular case, like that. Now the next thing I want to do is just to add some kind of drop shadow on it. So I'll click on Rema and then I go to drop shadow. So I want to add some drop shadow on it. So the drop shadow in this case, I want it to be I want to be black. I want it to be black, and then I just want to reduce the opacity. I want to reduce the opacity a little bit. Yeah, so I want it to be somewhere around 15, 14, 15 there. So we want to use 15, and then I click OK. So that is the effect that I want in that case. The next thing I want to do, I just want to add the date when the event is supposed to start and when it's supposed to end. So I just want to copy this. Okay, maybe I can just write here. So we are going to start from date 6 to 13th October. Let me just say 6th to 13th first. So that's the first part that is going to appear there. So I want it to fit here, but I'm going to use a separate color, font color. So I'm going to go here, and then I just want to use a simple color, a font color called Agency FB. So that's the font that I want to use, Agency FB, and make sure that it is bold. Yeah, so I want that text to be in that font. So I want it to be a little bit big. Then after that, the next thing I want to do, I just want to bring in the second part, and that is the month. So I want to add the month here, and the month here is October 2024. So I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm just going to say regular. Then after that, I just want to reduce it. I just want to reduce up to that particular case, and then I'm also going to change the font. I'm going to change the font color to this here. So I can use that. I think that one is true. Okay, is also okay for me. And then after that, you need also to write where exactly the service will be. So I'm going to say Control J, and then the service will be taking place at High Life Cathedral, Busia. High Life Cathedral, Busia. And then what you need to do, change the font back to Popin. So I'm going to change the font back to Popin, or I can use a different font, no problem. Sizzle is also okay for me. And Sizzle, I can just use bold, or bold if it appears so strong. I think that is okay. So what I need to do, I can reduce a little bit, or I put somehow at the top, but I don't want it to interfere with the readability of the Gilgal convention. I can put there. So then I can be able to push Gilgal a little bit at the top. Then what I need to do, I need to push this part here, and then I can also be able to push the month there, and then I can also be able to push this part exactly down below there, but change the font color to white. Change the font color to white, like that. I think that is visible enough. Then the next thing, or the last thing we want to do, is to add some kind of social media platform. But before I add some social media platform, the next thing I want to do is just to add the theme for the event. So the theme for the event, I want it to appear just next to this. So I'm just going to take the rectangle tool, just take the rectangle tool, and then I just want to draw here a rectangle like that. So I can use that rectangle there. So I expect it to be closer there, just around there. Then after doing that, I just click on this for color, and then I just want to pick a color from his forehead, somewhere there on his forehead. So somewhere around there, some bright color from his forehead. Yeah, so I think that is the color. So I just want to pick something from the forehead, and then I'm going to write in the theme for the event. So the theme in this case, theme is end of my reproach, end of my affliction, end of my affliction. Then come from home 9, and then like that. So what I need to do is I need to fit everything on this box. So I'm going to reduce the same so that it can be able to fit on this box. So I've reduced that, and that is exactly how I want it to appear. So that is so much okay for me in that particular case. Now the last thing I want to do is just to add the social media handles. I just want to add the social media handles. So we just go to file, place embed, and then I want to bring in our first icon for YouTube. So I want to bring in YouTube feature here. Then after doing that, I just want that thing to be so much simple in this particular case, and I just want to write something and write the social media handle, and in this case I'm just going to use pop-in. I want to use pop-in, and I want the pop-in to be regular. Then I'm just going to say Apostle Luke Rem. Apostle Luke Rema, and then I reduce that here up to that particular point, and then I can also be able to bring in the second file, then press embed, and then I want to bring in Facebook like that. I reduce it a little bit so that it fits in this case here down there. So I can also be able to push it here. Then after doing that, I just click on that, and then I just duplicate, and then I bring it this side, and I also need to write there Christ Liberation Embassy International. So that's the name of the Facebook account. Good. So after doing that, the next thing I just want to do is just to bring in some outside boundary. So I want to create a boundary around this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw a rectangle around this. So what I'm going to have the stroke. What I don't need this part, but I want the stroke. So I'm going to eliminate the fill color, and then I'm going to activate the stroke, and then I want to use a stroke of 4 pixels in this case. Just want to use the stroke of 4 pixels. You can decide it to be rounded, but I don't want to be rounded. I want to use the way it is, 4 pixels. So like that. But now I need to make sure that it is so much at the center. just make sure that everything should be center. So I need to make sure that everything is centered. So Control A, and then I just use center align, so that everything to fit there. And then after doing that, the next thing I want to do, I don't want this part to be all round like this. I just want it to be occupy this part at the bottom here. So what I need to do, I click on the rectangle tool, and then I right click, and then I do what we call rasterize. I'm going to rasterize that layer. Then I come here to take my magic wand tool or my polygon lasso tool, and then I just want to cut this part at the top. So I just want to reduce or remove this part at the top here. So I just want to remove, starting from that point, going up. So this part at the top, I don't want it to have that effect. So I just want this part at the bottom. Then you just press backspace so that you can delete that part. Nice. Everything looks better in that case. Then after doing that, the last thing I want just to do, I just want to have some kind of a tagline this side here, just to have a tagline here. So what I want to do, I click on the text tool, and then I just write there Gilgal Convention 2024. Gilgal Convention 2024. Make sure that this one is also highlighted, and then we want to rotate it. So I just want to rotate it, and I want it to be -90. Make sure that it is -90, like that. Then after that, make sure that you position it at this particular point here. So highlight this, and then make it black at that case, so it appears at that particular point, and everything is now intact, and your poster is ready for circulation in this case. Yeah. So the last thing I want to do, just make everything vibrant. You can be able to add some kind of vibrance here, just to make sure that everything stands out. So I can just add the vibrancy, and I can be able to push this so that it stands out. Yes, very nice. I think everything is okay at that particular point. At 56% is very much okay for me. So I think my flyer is okay, and it's ready for circulation. You can be able to click on file, and then export, and then export as, and then you'll be able to get the output for your flyer that you can be able to share with your team, or you can share with your members, so that people can be able to come for this big event. So thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that when I create the next content, you will be informed. Bye bye for now.